All right, let's get right into it. Today, we're going to talk about a huge shift happening in the world of influence marketing. And to do that, we're going to use the story of a platform called Oye Creators to see how the very idea of an influencer is being completely rewritten.
You know, it really all comes down to this one simple, powerful idea. Influence has changed. Fundamentally, the old days of just paying a celebrity for a shout-out, that's over. The game belongs to a whole new type of player now.
For so long, we all thought influence meant massive follower counts, those blue check marks and big name endorsements. But that whole model, which was really just built on getting the most eyeballs, is giving way to something way more personal.
So, where did all that influence go? Well, it moved into our neighborhoods, our local hangouts, our online communities. It now belongs to everyday people, the voices we actually trust, because they feel real and, relatable. And we're not talking about some abstract idea here. These new influencers are real people. It's the college student whose cafe recommendation you'll actually try. It's the new mom whose review of a baby product feels completely honest. Or it's that local vlogger showing you what a new apartment building in your city actually looks like on the inside. That is hyperlocal influence right there.
Okay, so this shift sounds great for us, right? More authenticity. But for brands, it's created a massive headache. I mean, how on earth do you manage millions of potential influencers where each one has a small but super engaged audience? Well, it's chaos. Let's break it down.
It really boils down to three big problems. First, fragmentation. Finding the right person in the right neighborhood is like looking for a needle in a haystack. Second, a total lack of transparency. Brands are spending money but have no clue what's actually working. And third, scalability. What you can do with 5 creators completely falls apart when you try to do it with 500.
And this slide really breaks down that first problem, fragmentation. The old way was just awful. You're digging through outdated lists, you're dealing with bad data, and you're spending endless hours just sending emails one by one. What brands desperately need is a way to find verified creators, automate the whole thing, and actually reach the specific local audiences they're aiming for.
Then you've got this transparency issue. Brands are pouring lakhs upon lakhs of rupees into these campaigns, but honestly, they're flying blind. They're chasing down missing reports, looking at metrics that feel, kind of fake, and they have no real way to know if their investment actually did anything.
And that leads right into the scalability problem. Look, managing a handful of creators, that's doable. But what happens when a brand wants to go big, a nationwide campaign with 500 different local influencers in dozens of cities? It's a disaster. Briefs get lost, deadlines are blown, and the whole thing just descends into pure chaos.
So here's the thing. You just can't solve a 21st century problem with 20th century tools. The answer isn't more spreadsheets or bigger marketing teams. You need an intelligent system, something built from the ground up for this brand new world.
And that solution is what's called a hyperlocal intent-based platform. Yeah, I know, it's a bit of a mouthful, but the idea is actually pretty simple. It's about creating one single smart place where brands and creators can connect seamlessly, all powered by data that knows exactly what the campaign is trying to do. See, a platform like this has 3 parts that all work together perfectly. You've got an app for the creators, a portal for the brands, and a powerful admin console in the middle that's kind of like the engine, making sure everything runs smoothly and that everyone can see what's going on. For creators, this is just a revolution.
There are no more middlemen taking a cut or slowing things down. They get campaign offers sent right to them. They upload their content, they can track how it's doing, and boom, they get paid directly to a digital wallet. It's fast, it's efficient, and it puts the power back in their hands.
And for the brands, it's a total game changer. They finally get the clarity and control they've been begging for. They can use AI to find the perfect creators, they can watch campaigns happen live, and they get real, hard data to prove that their money is working. Every single rupee is tracked.
So, all of this sounds great in theory, right? But does this model actually work in the real world? Well, this is where we look at the actual measurable impact. First, let's just talk about scale. We are talking about a network of over 12.5 lakh creators. Let that sink in for a second. This isn't some small niche thing. This is a massive community of real voices, all ready to work with brands.
And that network isn't just in the big metros. With a presence in over 75 cities, this really proves the hyperlocal part of the name. This model works just as well in a smaller city as it does in Mumbai or Delhi. And you can see the impact everywhere, across totally different industries. For real estate, it's about getting real people to actually show up for site visits. For consumer brands, it's about getting tons of authentic content from real users. And for schools, it's about building genuine trust with students in specific areas.
I love this quote because it gets right to the heart of this whole shift. The goal isn't just to get millions of views anymore, what we used to call impressions. The new way to measure success is asking, did this campaign actually create a real connection with people? So when you look at the big picture, the vision is really about democratizing this whole thing. It's about taking something that used to be super complex and mysterious and making it simple, transparent, and completely focused on getting real results for any brand, no matter how big or small.
So all of this leaves us with a really interesting question to think about. As technology lets us connect with people on a more local, more individual level than we ever could before, are we moving beyond just hyper-local and into a new era where all marketing that actually works is by its very nature hyper-personal? Something to think about.